At the beginning of the story, we meet a firefighter named Kim. He is trying to save a little girl from a burning building. To rescue her, Kim jumps from the top of the tall building while holding her in his arms. But in the middle of the jump, the rope attached to him catches fire and burns apart. Kim and the little girl begin falling straight toward the ground. Even in that dangerous moment, Kim makes sure the little girl is not hurt at all. The surprising part is that Kim also stands up without a single injury after hitting the ground. He tries to talk to the little girl, but no one can hear his voice. He becomes confused because nobody responds to him. A few moments later, two guardians named Miss Chun and Heewan-mak appear in front of him. Their job is to guide souls through their trials and defend them during the process of reincarnation. They tell Kim that he is already dead. They also explain that because he spent his life saving so many people before his death, he has been recognized as a noble soul in the spirit world. Miss Chun then tells him that she and the other guardians will help him pass 7 trials within the next 49 days. If he succeeds, he will be given the chance to be reincarnated on Earth. Kim is completely shocked by what he hears. He cannot believe that he has died. Then he looks down and sees his own lifeless body being carried away. At that moment, he finally realizes that everything the guardians said is true. Kim becomes frightened and begs them for one last chance to meet his mother. He says that he wants to tell her something before leaving forever, but the guardians explain that they cannot allow him to meet her, so they take Kim with them to the spirit world. At the same time, we meet the third guardian, Gang Rim. He arrives at Kim's funeral where he sees Kim's mother and his younger brother, Soo-hong. Both of them are heartbroken because of Kim's death. After this, all 3 guardians bring Kim deeper into the spirit world. There, he reaches his first trial and is immediately charged with the sin of murder. The 3 guardians are shocked by this accusation. They ask Kim who he killed during his lifetime. Kim quickly denies it and says that he never murdered anyone. Miss Chun then closes her eyes and looks through Kim's entire life. She soon discovers the truth. During a rescue mission, one of Kim's fellow firefighters died after being trapped under a collapsing building. The accident happened because of a wrong decision Kim made while doing his job. Because of that mistake, the burden of that death has been placed on him as the sin of murder. After learning the truth, the 3 guardians take Kim to face the god of murder for his first trial. When Kim arrives at the court of murder, he sees a terrifying sight. The god of murder has thrown countless murderers into a sea of fire as punishment. Their souls are screaming in pain while burning in the flames. Soon, the 2 prosecutors of the spirit world begin accusing Kim. They try to stop him from being reincarnated. They claim that Kim is responsible for his friend's death because of the wrong decision he made during the rescue mission. According to them, Kim is guilty of murder. After hearing these accusations, Gang Rim presents the final conversation between Kim and his friend to the god of murder. Everyone then learns what really happened that day. Kim was trying to save his friend first, but his friend told him to rescue the other people before worrying about him. He said that he would find a way to survive on his own. Trusting his friend's words, Kim left to save the others. While he was rescuing them, the building collapsed and his friend was trapped underneath it and died. Gang Rim also explains that Kim saved 8 people that night. Sadly, he could not save his own friend. Because of that, Kim carried deep guilt in his heart for a long time. After hearing the full truth, the god of murder realizes that Kim is innocent. His friend's death was not caused by evil intentions. As a result, the god declares Kim not guilty, and Kim successfully passes the first trial on his journey toward reincarnation. After leaving the court, Gang Rim tells Kim that the next trial will focus on his life. The judges will examine the hardships he faced and the way he lived. Hearing this, Kim asks the 3 guardians why they are helping him so much. He wants to know what they will gain from all of this. Miss Chun explains that the king of the underworld made them a promise. If they successfully help 49 souls complete all 7 trials within 1 century, they will also be allowed to return to Earth through reincarnation. They will become human again and live another life. After hearing this, Kim suddenly says that he does not want to be reincarnated anymore. Miss Chun gently asks him to change his mind and continue the journey. While they are talking, strange fish suddenly attack them. Heewan-mak and Miss Chun quickly fight the creatures and protect Kim. The moment Gang Rim sees those fish, he understands what is coming next. He tells Kim that the next judge will be the goddess of Indolence. He warns him never to answer her back because she hates people who argue with her. After that, they arrive at the court of Indolence. Miss Chun shows the goddess Kim's entire life. She explains that Kim never lived a lazy life. He worked hard every day and always helped both people and animals whenever he could. The goddess watches all of Kim's good deeds and becomes very pleased. She even tells her prosecutors that a great soul like Kim deserves statues in his honor. She orders them to build large statues of him. Then she asks Kim why he always risked his own life to help other people. Kim honestly answers that he did all of those things only to earn money. The moment she hears this, the goddess becomes angry. She tells Kim that he treated money like it was his true god. According to her, he helped people only because he wanted money, not because he truly cared about them. She says that such a person deserves punishment. She immediately immediately orders her two prosecutors to throw Kim toward a dangerous waterfall. In that place, huge rolling machines are crushing people without mercy. At the same time, the same terrifying fish attack the souls and eat them alive. Seeing this horrifying scene, Kim becomes terrified. Just then, Gang Rim and Hyewon-mak stop Kim's boat from falling into the waterfall. They explain the truth to the goddess of Indolence. They tell her that Kim worked many different jobs to earn money. He never lived a lazy life. Money was important to him because no one else in his family could earn a living. He worked so hard to pay for his sick mother's treatment and his younger brother's education. His real goal was always to support his family. After hearing the full story, the goddess of Indolence understands the truth. She realizes that Kim valued money only because he wanted to take care of his loved ones. Because of this, she decides to forgive him. Kim successfully passes his second trial. After that, the Guardians begin traveling toward the court of betrayal. In this trial, every lie from Kim's life will be examined, and he will be judged according to the lies he told while he was alive. On the way, Gang Rim suddenly becomes angry with Kim. He traps him among dangerous trees covered with sharp blades. Gang Rim tells him that the way he answered the goddess of Indolence was a big mistake. He warns Kim that from now on he must do exactly as he is told. A few moments later, Hyewon-mak frees Kim from the deadly trees. He then tells Kim something important. If Kim completes all the trials and earns the right to be reincarnated, he will be allowed to visit his mother in her dreams. At that time, he can finally tell her the words he has wanted to say. Hearing this gives Kim new hope. He becomes excited and decides that he will do everything possible to pass the remaining trials. Soon, the three of them get into a boat and continue toward the next court. But while they are traveling, terrifying monsters from hell suddenly attack them. At the same time, the flow of time around them starts moving much faster. Gang Rim quickly realizes what is happening. He tells Kim that someone else from his family has just died. After death, that person has become a vengeful spirit. Gang Rim and Hyewon-mak immediately begin fighting the monsters. During the battle, Hyewon-mak swings his sword with incredible force and destroys an entire mountain. The falling rocks crush all the monsters beneath them and wipe them out. After the fight, Hyewon-mak explains that someone in Kim's family must have died while feeling angry with him. That anger has turned the person into a restless spirit, and now that spirit is trying to take revenge. He also warns that if they do not calm the spirit quickly, it will keep attacking Kim again and again. Hearing this, Kim becomes very worried. He cannot understand who has died. He wonders whether it was his mother or his younger brother. Gang Rim tells Miss Chun and Hyewon-mak to stay with Kim and protect him. Then he returns alone to the real world to find the angry spirit. His first stop is Kim's workplace. Using his special power, Gang Rim looks into the recent past. He sees that after Kim's death, Kim's mother and his younger brother, Soo-hong, came to the office to collect Kim's belongings. While they were there, Soo-hong became angry with his mother. He believed that Kim had never really done anything for the family. He also felt that their mother always loved Kim more than him. At the same time, Kim tells Miss Chun that his mother cannot speak. Because of that, he and his brother never had the chance to hear her voice. Meanwhile, Gang Rim goes to Kim's house. There, he notices an old plant that Kim's mother has carefully kept as the last memory of her son. Once again, Gang Rim uses his power to look into the past. He discovers that Soo-hong was the one who was angry with Kim. Because of his anger, he left home and returned to his army camp. After learning this, Gang Rim heads towards Soo-hong's military camp. But before he can leave, Kim's mother suddenly arrives. To his surprise, she is able to see Gang Rim. Gang Rim quickly lies to Kim's mother. He tells her that he came after hearing about Kim's death because Kim once risked his own life to save him. As soon as she hears this, Kim's mother hugs Gang Rim and starts crying. Seeing her pain makes Gang Rim emotional as well. At that moment, Gang Rim suddenly sees Soo-hong's spirit inside the house. He finally realizes the truth. Kim's younger brother, Soo-hong, has died and has become a vengeful spirit. So it was not Kim's mother who died, it was his brother. Gang Rim follows Soo-hong's spirit and asks him how he died and where his body is. But Soo-hong refuses to answer anything. Instead, he turns around and runs away. Gang Rim chases after him and tries to catch him. However, Soo-hong's spirit is extremely powerful. He easily escapes from Gang Rim and disappears. Just then, an old man also notices Gang Rim. The old man believes that his own death is near. He says that his time has come because he has already started seeing the king of the spirit world. Meanwhile, in the spirit world, another group of hell monsters attacks Kim, Miss Chun, and Hyewon-mak. But before the monsters can reach them, the king of the spirit world, Yomra, suddenly appears. The moment the monsters see him, they immediately run away in fear. The king asks Hyewon-mak how an ordinary human managed to awaken the monsters of hell. Hyewon-mak explains that someone from Kim's family has died and become a vengeful spirit. He also tells the king that Gang Rim has gone to the human world to stop that spirit. Then Hyewon-mak adds that Gang Rim will burn the dead person's body so the spirit can finally rest in peace. Hearing this makes Kim furious. He mistakenly believes that his mother has died and thinks the king wants to destroy her spirit. Without knowing the truth, Kim suddenly attacks the king of the spirit world. He has no idea that his mother is still alive and that it is actually his brother who has become the angry spirit. Heewan-mak somehow manages to calm Kim down. The king then warns Heewan-mak to deal with the vengeful spirit as quickly as possible. Otherwise, he will personally destroy it himself. At the same time, Gang Rim reaches Suhong's military camp. He wants to find out how Kim's brother died and where his body is. After talking to a few soldiers, Gang Rim is told that Suhong left the army because he was heartbroken after Kim's death. But Gang Rim immediately realizes that this story is false. He understands that whoever killed Suhong also spread this lie to hide the truth. Gang Rim uses his special power once again to look into the past. He sees Suhong happily talking with one of his junior soldiers. The two are even singing together, and Suhong looks completely normal. While watching these memories, Gang Rim notices the same junior soldier in the present time. The soldier tells his colonel that he no longer wants to stay at the camp and wants to leave immediately. Seeing his strange behavior, Gang Rim becomes suspicious. He realizes that both the junior soldier and the colonel are hiding something. To investigate further, Gang Rim disguises himself as a military officer and goes to meet Suhong's colonel. Meanwhile, Kim is brought to the third trial, where every lie and every truth from his life will be judged. The same two prosecutors from the spirit world step forward and show several letters to the goddess of truth. They explain that Kim wrote these letters to the daughter of his dead friend. In those letters, Kim pretended to be the little girl's father. He kept writing to her so she would believe that her father was still alive and watching over her. The two prosecutors then show the goddess of truth many more letters. They say that Kim filled all of these letters with lies. The real reason behind those lies will be revealed later in the story. After seeing the letters, the goddess of truth, who appears as a little girl, is shocked. Even Heewan-mak becomes angry after learning how many lies Kim told. He asks Kim why he wrote so many false letters to that little girl. Kim calmly explains that he felt terrible after his friend died. His friend's daughter was still very young, and he could not bear to see her living in sadness. That is why he wrote those letters and made her believe that her father was still alive. At the same time, Gang Rim meets Suhong's colonel in the real world. Disguised as a military officer, Gang Rim asks him a simple question. He says that if everyone believes Suhong ran away from the army, then why has no one informed his mother yet? The colonel replies that he did not want to make her suffer even more. She had already lost one son. If she also found out that her second son had disappeared, it would completely break her heart. That is why they decided not to tell her anything. After hearing this answer, Gang Rim immediately realizes that the colonel is lying. He knows that Suhong did not run away. He was killed. Gang Rim then looks straight at the colonel and asks him where Suhong's body has been buried. Hearing this question leaves the colonel completely speechless. Meanwhile, back in the spirit world, the goddess of truth tells Kim that he gave the little girl false hope by making her believe that her father was still alive. Because of those letters, she waited for her father every single day. In the end, she became even more heartbroken. The goddess says that all of this happened because of Kim's lies. She then orders her prosecutors to punish Kim by cutting out his tongue. At the same time, the colonel refuses to answer Gang Rim's question. Gang Rim warns him to tell the truth as soon as possible before leaving the room. He then contacts Miss Chun and asks her to show him everything happening in the spirit world. After understanding the whole situation, Gang Rim tells Miss Chun exactly how she should defend Kim. Miss Chun then steps forward and shows the goddess of truth the same letters once again. This time, she explains something important. She says that Kim did not write all of those letters only for the little girl. Many of them were actually written for his own mother. In those letters, Kim always pretended that he was living a happy and comfortable life. His mother was very sick and had almost lost the will to live. But after reading those letters, she found hope again. She became stronger and even her health started getting better. Miss Chun explains that Kim only wanted to make his mother and his friend's daughter feel happy. That was the only reason he wrote those lies. After hearing the full truth, the goddess of truth understands Kim's real intentions. She realizes that he never lied to hurt anyone. He only wanted to give hope to people who were suffering. Because of this, she forgives Kim and declares him innocent. She also scolds the two prosecutors for judging him too quickly. After the third trial ends, Kim continues his journey with the two guardians. While they are walking, Heewan-mak asks Kim why he is so desperate to meet his mother. He wants to know what Kim is trying so hard to tell her. Kim replies that he secretly bought an electric cooker for his mother. He had hidden it inside the storage room before he died. He simply wanted to give that gift to her. As Kim says this, Miss Chun quietly looks through the memories of his entire life and tells him that she already knows about the letter hidden inside the electric cooker. She says that unlike the other letters, this one contains no lies. In that letter, Kim wrote only his true feelings from the bottom of his heart. Just then, Gang Rim returns and stands in front of Kim and the two guardians. He tells Kim that his mother is still alive. He also lies to Kim by saying that his younger brother is safe as well. However, after that, Gang Rim secretly tells Miss Chun and Hee-won Mak the truth. He reveals that Soo-hong has already died and has become the vengeful spirit. Gang Rim then uses his power to look into Soo-hong's final memories. He sees Soo-hong talking to his friend Dong while they are on duty. Soo-hong tells Dong not to keep feeling guilty about Kim's death. He says that Dong should move on because he has already accepted his brother's death himself. After saying that, Soo-hong walks over and hugs Dong. At that moment, Dong adjusts his rifle, but the gun suddenly goes off by accident. The bullet hits Soo-hong and he collapses to the ground. This is how Soo-hong dies. Dong is terrified by what has happened. He quickly calls his colonel and asks him to come to the scene. Meanwhile, Miss Chun and Hee-won Mak bring Kim to the next trial, the Court of Injustice and Betrayal. This court punishes people who treated others unfairly during their lives. As soon as they arrive, the frozen ground begins breaking apart. Seeing the danger, they quickly activate a nearby lift, climb inside, and try to escape. Back in the real world, Gang Rim sees what happened after the shooting. The colonel arrived and found Soo-hong lying on the ground. Instead of reporting the truth, he became worried about his upcoming promotion. To protect his own future, he decided to secretly bury Soo-hong's body without telling anyone. But then Gang Rim notices something shocking. Soo-hong was not dead at that moment, he was still alive. This reminds Gang Rim of his own painful past, because his father had also been burned alive in a cruel way. In the end, Dong and the colonel bury Soo-hong alive. Later, they tell his mother that Soo-hong deserted the army and ran away. After learning the truth, Gang Rim starts digging to bring Soo-hong's body out of the ground. At the same time, Miss Chun and Hee-won Mak are talking with Kim. During the conversation, Hee-won Mak accidentally reveals the truth. He tells Kim that Soo-hong has died and is the vengeful spirit causing all the trouble. Hearing this breaks Kim's heart. At that very moment, one of the lift's cables suddenly snaps. Both guardians begin falling into the deep pit below. They barely manage to grab onto the lift and hang in the air. Kim immediately climbs down using a rope to rescue them. He tells them that from now on, he will do everything he can to help them. Meanwhile, Gang Rim is almost finished digging out Soo-hong's body when Hee-won Mak suddenly appears beside him. Hee-won Mak orders Gang Rim to burn Soo-hong's body immediately so his spirit will disappear. But Gang Rim refuses. He says that he wants to return Soo-hong's body to his mother so she can give her second son a proper funeral and finally learn the truth about what really happened. Hee-won Mak still tries to burn the body, but Gang Rim stops him every single time. At this moment, something feels strange. Hee-won Mak is supposed to be with Kim in the spirit world, yet someone who looks exactly like him is standing beside Gang Rim in the real world. The truth behind this mystery will be revealed later in the story. For now, Gang Rim tells Hee-won Mak to leave and go back. Meanwhile, the two guardians continue taking Kim toward the Court of Betrayal. At the same time, in the real world, Dong, the soldier whose accidental gunshot killed Soo-hong, is drowning in guilt. He goes to a club and starts drinking heavily because he cannot live with what he has done. Soon, Soo-hong's vengeful spirit appears there to kill Dong. But before anything happens, Gang Rim arrives and chases after the spirit. After a long struggle, he finally catches Soo-hong and tells him to calm down. Gang Rim explains that because of his actions, Kim is also suffering in the spirit world, but Soo-hong angrily replies that he has no brother anymore. He says Kim abandoned the family long ago and only came back after his own death. Gang Rim keeps trying to reason with him. He tells Soo-hong that the soldiers believed he was already dead, which is why they buried him. Even after hearing this, Soo-hong refuses to calm down. He becomes even angrier and escapes once again. Meanwhile, Dong goes to meet the colonel. He says that he wants to tell everyone the truth and confess that he accidentally shot Soo-hong, but the colonel refuses to let him speak. He only cares about protecting his promotion. Back in the spirit world, Gang Rim returns to Kim and the other guardians. Kim immediately begs him not to destroy Soo-hong's spirit. He asks Gang Rim to return his brother's soul to his body and bring him back to life, but Gang Rim sadly tells Kim that such a thing is impossible. At the same time, Dong goes to Soo-hong's mother and finally tells her the place where Soo-hong was buried underground. Soo-hong's spirit watches everything from nearby. He realizes that Dong has been living with deep regret ever since the accident. Meanwhile, the two guardians take Kim to the next trial, the Court of Violence. To reach it, they must jump into a deep canyon. They believe Kim is a noble soul who never lived a violent life, so they expect the fall to be very short. But the canyon is much deeper than they imagined. All three of them keep falling through the endless darkness and crash against huge rocks on the way down. Back in the real world, Dong can no longer handle his guilt and decides to end his own life. Gang Rim witnesses everything. Just then, Soo-hong's spirit appears before him and makes a deal. He tells Gang Rim to save Dong, and in return he will do whatever Gang Rim asks. After hearing this, Gang Rim cuts the rope around Dong's neck and saves him from dying. Meanwhile, Kim and the two guardians are still falling deeper into the canyon and hitting giant rocks. At the same time, Soo-hong asks Gang Rim to sing a song in front of Dong. Gang Rim sings the song, and Dong immediately realizes that Soo-hong's spirit is with him. Through Gang Rim, Soo-hong tells Dong that he forgives him. Back in the spirit world, Kim, Miss Chun, and Hee-won Mak continue falling toward the the ground. As they get closer to the bottom, Kim grabs Miss Chun's hand and tries to protect her from the impact. Just before they hit the ground, their fall suddenly stops. Soon after, they arrive before the god of violence. The same two prosecutors are already waiting there and once again try to stop Kim from being reincarnated. They show the god of violence several scenes from Kim's childhood using magical stone memories. In those memories, young Kim is beating his little brother Soo-hong very badly. The prosecutors claim that Kim even tried to kill his own brother that day. Watching those memories, Kim is filled with sadness. He remembers everything that happened. The prosecutors also explain that after beating Soo-hong, Kim ran away from home. He never returned for the next 15 years. When he finally came back, it was only after his own death. Hearing all of this makes the god of violence furious. He immediately decides that Kim deserves punishment and orders that he be thrown into a deep pit. Kim is then taken to a place where huge rocks are crushing countless people without mercy. The terrifying scene leaves him completely frightened. At the same time, Gang Rim also learns what is happening. He and the other guardians cannot think of any way to save Kim. So Gang Rim tells Miss Chun to request a combined trial from the god of violence. Miss Chun steps forward and asks for the combined trial. She explains that if Kim is found guilty in the next court, he will receive double the punishment. She also says that if they fail, all three guardians will lose their powers forever. After hearing this request, the god of violence agrees and decides not to punish Kim for now. Instead, he allows Kim to move on to the next trial. Meanwhile, Gang Rim uses his power to give Soo-hong's spirit the appearance of his real human body and takes him back toward the military camp. During the journey, Soo-hong finally reveals what really happened on the night Kim attacked him. He says that Kim beat him because Soo-hong caught him trying to kill their sick mother. A flashback shows that Kim had decided to end his mother's suffering by suffocating her. Soo-hong tried to stop him, and that is why Kim attacked him so violently. At the same time, Miss Chun also discovers this truth by looking through Kim's memories. She and Hyun-mak immediately ask Kim why he tried to kill his own mother. Kim finally tells them everything. He explains that his mother was suffering from a serious illness. They had no money for her treatment, and he could not bear to watch her live in constant pain. Because of that, he planned to end her suffering first. After that, he and his younger brother would take their own lives as well. But when he actually tried to do it, he could not go through with it. He felt horrible about what he had almost done. Filled with guilt, he left home and never came back. The truth is that Kim had become so hopeless that night that he wanted his entire family to die together. That was the reason he used violence against Soo-hong. Meanwhile, in the real world, Kim's mother arrives at the military camp. She asks the officers to help her find Soo-hong because she still believes that he simply disappeared somewhere. Soo-hong's spirit watches his mother searching for him. Just then, the colonel pushes her away and tries to force her out of the camp. Seeing this makes Soo-hong furious. At the same time, monsters attack Kim and the two guardians in the spirit world. Hyun-mak immediately fights back and starts defeating them. In the real world, Kim's mother falls unconscious after being pushed by the colonel. The moment Soo-hong sees this, all of his anger returns. He transforms into a powerful, vengeful spirit once again and creates a massive storm with his powers. The storm becomes so powerful that it also affects the spirit world, causing both worlds to connect with each other. Kim, Miss Chun, and Hyun-mak are all caught inside the storm. Meanwhile, Soo-hong begins destroying everything inside the military camp. The frightened colonel tries to escape, but Soo-hong lifts the colonel's entire truck into the air with his power and attempts to kill him. Gang Rim quickly steps in to protect the colonel, but Soo-hong throws him aside with ease. He then starts attacking the colonel with powerful bolts of lightning. Seeing the danger, Gang Rim calls out to Hyun-mak and asks him to come to the real world. Hyun-mak immediately appears and saves the colonel just in time. At the same time, the violent storm causes Kim to sink into deep sand in the spirit world. Miss Chun desperately tries to pull him out, but she cannot free him. Finally, she begins shouting for help at the top of her lungs. Hearing her voice, Soo-hong suddenly notices his brother for the first time. Soo-hong immediately realizes that his brother is in danger because of him. The moment he understands this, all of his anger disappears and his spirit finally becomes calm. Meanwhile, Kim reaches his final trial. There, he comes face to face with the king of the spirit world, Yomra himself. This last trial is meant to judge the relationship between Kim and his mother while they were alive. But before hearing any explanation, the king immediately declares Kim guilty for trying to kill his own mother and begins announcing his punishment. Just then, Miss Chun steps forward and interrupts him. She tries to explain that Kim only tried to kill his mother because she was suffering from a terrible illness. She also says that Kim planned to end his own life after that. Miss Chun further explains that Kim believed his mother was unconscious at that moment, so she never knew what happened. However, after hearing this, the king of the spirit world shows everyone the truth through the mirror of karma. The vision reveals that Kim's mother was never unconscious that night. She was awake the entire time and knew everything that was happening. Seeing the truth completely breaks Kim's heart. He realizes that his mother knew about his actions all along, yet she never told anyone. Even after that terrible night, she kept waiting for him to come back home. Filled with regret, Kim admits that he deserves punishment. He says that he did something unforgivable to his own mother. Even so, he makes one final request to the king. He asks for a little more time so he can meet his mother one last time and ask for her forgiveness. But the king refuses. He tells Kim that he already had many years in the human world. During all that time, Kim never returned home and never apologized to his mother. After saying this, the king orders the prosecutors to carry out Kim's punishment. Gang Rim and Hyewon-mak also begin to lose hope. They believe they have failed to help Kim earn reincarnation, and now all three guardians will lose their powers as well. At that moment, Soo-hong enters his mother's dream. He tells her that he has become a judge in heaven. He also brings Gang Rim and Hyewon-mak into the dream and introduces them as his friends. Then Soo-hong gently asks his mother if she remembers the night when Kim almost killed both of them. After reminding her about that night, Soo-hong says that after Kim left home, he kept sending money to them every month, but he never came back to see them. Whenever they missed him, he was never there with them. Hearing these words, Kim's mother begins crying deeply as she remembers those painful days. Because this is her dream, she is finally able to speak. She looks at Soo-hong and says that in her eyes, neither of her sons did anything wrong that night. She says that both of them always cared for her and tried to protect her. Then she tells Soo-hong that everything happened because of her illness. She blames herself and says that she was never a good mother. She feels that she always left her two sons to suffer alone. After saying all of this, Soo-hong's mother breaks down in tears. She apologizes to both of her sons and blames herself for everything that happened. Watching this emotional moment, Kim, the guardians, and everyone in the spirit world become deeply moved. After seeing the truth, the king of the spirit world finally understands that Kim's mother had already forgiven him long ago for what happened that night. The king then tells Kim that in the spirit world, a person is never punished for a sin that has already been forgiven in the human world. With those words, he declares Kim innocent. He also announces that Kim has earned the right to be reincarnated. Soon after, Kim leaves the spirit world to begin a new life through reincarnation. Meanwhile, back in the real world, Hyewon-mak asks Gang Rim why they are still there. Gang Rim explains that Kim's younger brother, Soo-hong, is also a noble soul. He says that Soo-hong will now travel with them to the spirit world and will also receive a chance at reincarnation. Hearing this surprises Hyewon-mak. He asks Gang Rim how Soo-hong could possibly become a noble soul. Gang Rim admits that even he does not know the answer. Then Gang Rim asks Hyewon-mak another question. He wants to know why Hyewon-mak came to help him so late during the storm. Hyewon-mak looks confused and replies that Gang Rim himself had told him not to come to the real world. He says he only came after Gang Rim called for him later. The moment Gang Rim hears this, he realizes something shocking. The person standing beside him earlier when Soo-hong's body was found was never Hyewon-mak. It was actually the King Yomra in disguise. The king had secretly guided Gang Rim and showed him that what he was doing was the right thing. After understanding this, Gang Rim decides to take Soo-hong directly to the king's palace to learn why the king personally gave him that message. Meanwhile, Kim's mother is shown resting in a hospital. There, she finally receives the electric cooker that Kim bought for her before he died. Gang Rim is the one who secretly made sure it reached her. While returning, the same old man who had seen Gang Rim before notices him once again. This leaves Gang Rim wondering how an ordinary human can see him. At the hospital, Kim's mother opens the electric cooker and finds the final letter hidden inside. As she reads it, she realizes that for all those years, Kim had filled his previous letters with happy lies only to keep her smiling. But this last letter contains nothing except the complete truth and all of Kim's heartfelt feelings. After that, Gang Rim begins taking Soo-hong straight to the king of the spirit world's palace. He wants to understand why the king appeared in the human world and what message he was trying to give him. However, the king's army blocks their path and refuses to let them enter. Soon, Gang Rim and his companions prepare to fight against the king's soldiers. This is where the story comes to an end. In the final scenes of the movie, we also see another group of spirit guardians. They arrive to collect the soul of the same old man who was able to see Gang Rim. But just before they can do anything, another mysterious man suddenly notices them and stops them. With this cliffhanger, the movie ends and sets up the next chapter of the story. If you liked this video, please like it and subscribe to our channel to see more such videos. Thanks for watching.